I'm Trey, Bledsoe. This is my wife, Christie. We've been members at First Baptist Belton for 11 years, and we've got 4 children, and we love the fact that they grew up in this church and the fact that we've been blessed to be members here. Well, Christie and I met at First Baptist Church of Euless. I was a singles ministry intern, and she had just moved to the area. So we got to know each other through me working there and her being a part of a small group Bible study that I was leading. It was an interesting time because I was not allowed to date anyone as an intern that was in the singles ministry. So I kind of got to know Christie, but I couldn't date her. Eventually, I realized that I did want to date Christie. And so I talked to my boss and said, hey, I'm going to quit my job so I can ask her out. And his refreshing comment was, it's about time, stupid, to let me know that, yeah, I was making a good decision. And I can say that it has been a good decision now, having been married almost 30 years this year.
Well, when we met, I knew that Trey would be the person that would be there forever, commitment to me, because he was committed to the Lord first. And I never doubted that. And to have that faith, that security, and that picture of Christ loving the church and our family has been a blessing to me. We've been through some hard things, and I've had cancer twice. Trey had a heart attack. Some health issues are certainly struggles. They're defining points in your life. And Trey's steadiness is always to turn towards God. And, those were hard for us, but it was definitely hard for our children. And just looking back at how, no matter what the outcome would have been, that God is faithful and that we trust Him. And that's what we have built our trust for each other on. And so I appreciate that about you.
One of the things early on that we were taught, and I believe it's true, is the fact that God's the one that meets all of our needs in life. And you see that in the story of Adam and Eve, is that God didn't leave Adam to figure out who was going to be for him. He brought Eve to him. And I think that's a pattern that God has continued throughout history. And Christie was brought to me and I to her. And so therefore, she is God's best for me. Again, not that she's perfect, but she's perfect for me. And so therefore, if I have issues with her, then I have to realize that I have issues with God. And I'm not really wanting to do that. And so to see her for me is really to see Him providing for me. And so that can definitely influence when we go through difficult times and things and we don't agree, and it's frustrating and it's painful. I still have to look at the fact that God's the one that brought her to me, and He is, or she is His best for me. And so I want to make sure I see it that way. And it allows us to get through those times because we know the Scripture's going to take care of us. It's going to walk us through whatever we're dealing with, and we can trust that.
I think the blessing of honoring God through the day in and day out, our kids saw our faith. They saw your commitment. They saw your faith, your steadiness. Our oldest son got married when he was 23, and we were doing the mother-son dance, and he said, Mom, we want to be parents just like y'all. And you go, oh, but geez, I didn't know what I was doing, something stuck. And so that was special.
Because we were not always the coolest parents. We were not always, there's times we weren't even the best parents. We were just trying to navigate it like all parents do. But because of who Jesus is in us individually, because of who He is in us as a couple, I honestly believe that allows us to model for our kids, even on the difficult times, even what it is to be a couple that follows Jesus.
I think we're very proud of hitting the 30-year mark in our marriage, but at the same time, we also feel like we have 30 years to go. And so we talked about the marriage class being a legacy and calling it the legacy class, and that legacy being passed down to our children through the faithfulness of our relationship and the faithfulness of God. If your marriage is in a good place and this is a place for you to grow and to share with others, the legacy class is a great opportunity to build those relationships. But if you are in a place where your marriage is hurting and there's struggle, it's also a good opportunity to meet people who might be able to support you and encourage you and look at the biblical truths of marriage and help you redirect.
God genuinely loves your marriage. It is actually very important to Him because I do believe it reflects the image of God. And so therefore, if your marriage is important to God, He wants it to grow. He wants it to be healthy. He wants it to be successful and to be a marriage that influences other marriages. And so as you're dealing with those difficult experiences in life and those times of being stuck, please know the God of the universe desperately wants your marriage to be something that is healthy and alive and reflected of his oneness that he has with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
But last September, First Baptist Belton officially started the Legacy class based on some curriculum or many resources that are biblical resources focused on marriage. And I think many people in that class would say that it's been a blessing and experience. Help them grow. But we'll be doing that class again. And Trey and I will be teaching that with Donna and Larry, and we're excited about that opportunity to invest in their couples. If that's something that interests you, I hope that you'll pray about that opportunity for this fall. Sunday school, Sunday morning, it's going to be a good time.
Join us in the process of helping your marriage be something that leaves a legacy for generations to come.